I think I've been settling pretty well into all of this Third World War thing. I mean, I haven't died yet, that must mean something. Sadly, Amazon is the only delivery service left, and they only sell gun ammo and Chinese finger traps. But it doesn't matter, I'm pulling through. And I've got everything I could need right here. Entertainment, a lifetime supply of food, rest, and bathroom. What else could I need? Friends? Okay, you know what? Fine, I admit it. Things haven't been going the best, but I'm pulling through, and I know what will lift up the spirit. Reminiscing about past wars I wasn't even alive for. World War, it happened. After the assassination of the next in throne of the Austro-Hungary Empire, Franz Ferdinand, the Austro-Hungary Empire blamed this incident on Serbia, to whom they sent a list of demands impossible to suffice. And when Serbia refused, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. So Germany and Hungary were allies, but Serbia is protected by Russia and France. At this point, this is where two bands form. These are called the Central Powers, made up by Germany and Austria-Hungary. The other band is called the Allies, which are conformed by France, Britain, and Russia. Germany tried to get ahead while Russia was getting ready and tried to invade
France.
They tried to take their troops through Belgium, but Belgium fights back, and when Britain sees Germany attacking neutral countries, they declare war on Germany too. When Russia is ready for war, Hungary sends their troops over but fails miserably. Up to this point, the Allies have been doing a pretty good job at not getting invaded. But then, unexpectedly, in the north, Germany almost wipes the entire Russian Second Army. Then, on the west, Germany advances and makes its way to France to reach Paris. Before they reached it, a battle broke out in which the Germans retreat and move up to the north of Belgium, where things get intense and trench warfare begins. In trench warfare, both sides dig trenches and fight over in waves until one side is completely eliminated. These battles could last months and left many psychologically traumatized and shell-shocked. In 1916, as if the situation couldn't look worse, Portugal joined the Allies. The most brutal battle of World War I broke out on Verdun, France, which caused another brutal battle not far away, the Battle of Somme. This is where tanks were first introduced into the war. The Russians have been getting won over by Germany, which caused Russia to initiate the Brusilov offensive, which didn't work, but after Russia ran out of supplies, they quickly lost territory. By 1917, everyone was exhausted. There were fights within the alliances, Russia had run out of supplies, and there was still no clear indicator of who could win. Due to Russia's lack of anything, they pulled out of war after multiple strikes and uprisings by the Russian population. America, while not being very involved in the war, had been selling supplies to the Allies and was benefiting greatly from the war. And after it being intercepted a message from Russia directed to Mexico encouraging war against America, it was the last straw and USA joined the Allies in a war and started sending troops to Europe. In a last-ditch effort, Germany goes all out and combines their troops to push back the Allies. This backfired tremendously, as the Allies were getting better at repelling the Germans and Germany was running out of money. The Central Powers were being pushed back in all fronts. This was it. The Central Powers one by one started to collapse, and finally, on November 11th, 1918, Germany surrendered. Germany was forced to decrease its military power, accept fault, and pay the damages made during the war. And so, after 17 million dead and 20 million wounded, the Allies won. And that was the end of the war, and a war of that magnitude never happened again.
Oh, me car chart up! I'm trying to concentrate! How am I supposed to get into art school if you don't let me work?
If you ever go down Trinidad, they make
So, me guards, I can't believe it!
so sing and make up rhyme, guarantee you one real good fine time.
Hitler's anti-Semitism was the fuel for World War II. You may or may not be wondering, what is anti-Semitism? Anti-Semitism is the prejudice and or hatred for Jew people. Hitler introduced laws that prohibited Jews of basic human rights. They were banned from going to public places and traveling on public transport. They were also obligated to use a star-shaped pin to easily identify them. By the time World War II was happening, Germany at the time had invaded a large part of Europe. This gave Germany easy access to more types of Jews. Hitler ordered a rounding up of Jews, as well as other groups of people he hated, including Roma gypsies, gay people, and people with disabilities. They were all arrested and sent to concentration camps, where they were forced on slave labor. The conditions were specifically designed to make life miserable. People were forced onto crowded rooms, self-hygiene was little to non-existent, and they were fed barely enough food to be kept alive. Many died of starvation, disease, or abuse at the concentration camps. But war wasn't going too well for good old Adolf. He had been living the past 3 months in a bunker and was losing territory rapidly. So Hitler was left with only one option: kill himself. Death will never be enough punishment for his actions. Make sure to comment down below how you would have tortured Hitler. So, after the death of Hitler, World War II officially ended. God, if I were one of those people, I'd be dead. Deaths aside, World War II really changed everyone's perspective on, well, everything. World War II may have been over, but the effects it caused can be seen even to this day. The anti-Semitism didn't stop, racism for Germans after World War II spiked, as everyone seemed to hold them responsible. People in concentration camps have been let out, but were limited on where they could go. Many tried going to Britain, but were stopped by the British government. Post-war may not have been as bad as war itself, but it certainly took a while for things to get better. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. Okay, bye, I guess.
Three,